the consultant, having done the eye tests again, asked me if I was sure that I couldn't see. Mr. Choice said, it isn't your eye, there isn't a problem with your eye, but there is a problem. And that's when I had confirmation that I had a tumour that was on the base of the brain. It was growing on the pituitary. The neurosurgeon, he told me after the surgery that he'd taken as much tumour away as possible, but he knew there was more tumour there, and the reason that he had done that was because he wanted to restore my eyesight as much as possible. But I was probably more at that point not thinking about how fortunate I was I could see. I was struggling with the fact that I couldn't taste. I can't even begin to explain it to you because it's a very weird world when you can't taste. When I was eating dinner, and the next thing I knew, I had the nurse, the matron and the nurse with the smelling salts asking me to tell them what I could smell. And I couldn't smell any of them. That was difficult initially, but then it was like, well, come on, you can see. And that's when I went back to art. To look at things. You like your ears rotate? And the second operation was meant to be a breeze. It was easy, but unfortunately it was nearly fatal. I woke up from the operation, I was sitting up and I was talking to my husband when the bandaging, which is what, because it was an easy operation through the nasal to the pituitary, because it basically sits here, and I was talking to him and I could feel it coming down the back of my throat, and I could still to this day thought I was going to choke on the ward because it was going further and further down my throat, because then you start to panic, and yeah, I thought I was actually going to die at that point. So what they had to do very, very quickly, and not in a sterile environment, was to pull it out. I went into 3 different comas. The light went off. You are completely and utterly out of the world. There's nothing. You don't hear anything. You don't have colours, you don't have anything. There's nothing to the next moment when you wake up again. And you open up your eyes straight away and you see light. When you start your process of recovery, you actually don't have any memory really of anything. You have to start learning again. There was certainly one nurse each side and one behind me when I started to walk. My muscles had completely were diminishing by just laying static on a bed. I wasn't in a position to even wash myself, and so I had bed baths, and I didn't get dressed for months. I consider myself one of the very fortunate ones. I went through at 27 an experience that you would hope most people would never have. They don't really think about when they wake up in the morning how fortunate they are, or that you can actually breathe without assistance. There are a lot of people who don't have that, like walking, moving your foot. And when those are taken away from you, and like myself, you're able to recover, it does make you value these things. And I think it enriches your life as well, because you're not so busy looking for the next thing, or you're actually thinking, great, I've got a day, I'm here today. And the sun might be shining or it might be raining, but you're one of the more fortunate people because you've got a whole day. And being really, really happy that you've actually woken up.